Do you want to be right or do you want to make money? This is a question that challenges our ego, our risk tolerance, and our decision-making strategies. It's about challenging whether we attach our trading decisions to our ego or to the practical market. And that is that there is not an opportunity every day. There are varying levels of opportunity. Let me just sort of restate that. There is not a great opportunity every day. There are some smaller opportunities, and every once in a while the market throws you a bone. The thing is, you cannot force the bone to come. If the bone ain't there, you ain't getting it, right? That's what it really comes down to. So what are some of the pitfalls of having this attached mindset where you must be right? Well, okay, so we'll go through that. And I've actually written down a whole list here, and hopefully this makes sense to you. So here's the problem. When you're in this kind of mindset that your philosophy, your analysis must be right, therefore the fact that the market didn't give you what you needed, that it must be something else. It must be anything but what your analysis entailed. And this can lead to a number of things. One is confirmation bias. So you might selectively interpret or pay attention to information that confirms your initial predictions or hypothesis and disregard all the evidence that contradicts it because you're living in a myopic world, right? And this can lead to you being a dumbass and losing because you're unable to see what reality is. The other problem with wanting to be right is that you develop this level of overconfidence as if you are smarter than the market, and your desire to be right can inflate your confidence and also your predictions and your sensibility, quite frankly. And it can lead to excessive risk taking, such as, over leveraging your position or failing to set a stop loss or setting a stop loss and then ignoring it because you know better. I can't hit that stop loss now because I was right. The other thing that it obviously leads to, and this is, what most people think is the root cause of their trading, and that is emotional trading. So if things don't go the way you planned and your desire to be right will more or less trigger your emotions. Here's the big thing. If you cannot recognize when you have these triggers, it's hard to stop them. But if you can have a detached view of your trading and you can be prepared for when those triggers occur, then you can see it. You can say, I just got triggered. Therefore, I'm going to make a dumbass move. And so then you back off and you can avoid making the dumbass move. When you get into this emotional state, it totally clouds your judgment. And when you cloud your judgment, you make bad decisions. You make decisions that are less than optimal. And of course, you can make optimal decisions and still be wrong. The problem is that when you get into this state, you don't believe that you can be wrong. And so that would lead to this next thing, and that's your inability to cut your losses because you believe that you must be right and it must come back. Now, in our strategy, we avoid having to cut our losses or to manage our risk by doing a very, very simple thing, and that is every trade that we put on has asymmetry to it, where we take a very tiny little risk with large potential, someday probable outcome, but there's also a spectrum of outcomes that we can take. But the key is that by taking such a very small risk, we don't have to manage it. That is a defined risk that we're willing to give up on every trade, right? So we don't have to really worry about cutting our losses. So that's important. Now, one of the things that this could lead to, though, is kind of over trading. Let's say that you hit your loss and you should accept it and you don't. You think that, well, now I need to come back and add another trade. Right? And so you're going to go through and add another trade, maybe duplicating the same dumbass idea you had before and then hit another loss. That could have happened easily today, where today the market initially went up and it went up very strong and then it went down. So you figured, okay, it went down, but now it's going to pull back and come to my spot, but it keeps on going down. You say, okay, I lost there. I'll go in. It's still going to come back and go back up, right? And it keeps on going down. And you could repeat this over and over, yet it still goes down because you cannot let go of that initial premise. So cutting your losses is definitely important.